Papa Smoke's back. You see, I ran into a scammer, called him a bitch and got hit with a band hammer. Now I guarantee blood that boy's at least got a stammer, because I put him in a jar just to kick off the drama. The Papa of Smoke. My mojo's no joke. One guy that tried it with my click ended up getting poked. Another guy died, choked by the smoke. And then this witch bitch cried and ended up going broke. Ladies and gents, so I go out and Papa Smoke back for another video. Okay, so I thought I'd start bringing you a weekly treat. You see, people seem to have a lot of opinions about what I do, and people seem to think they know a lot about what I do and things like that. So I thought I'd bring you some educational segments on the Lua and the things in root work and Vodou, basically to give you a bit of value. So, my channel's usually always about beef or books or sales, so I thought I'd bring you some knowledge in it, some proper from the knowledge. So I've made some notes about this, so if you hear paper rustling about, don't worry about it, it's just so I don't forget to leave anything out. So I thought the first one to cover would be Papa Legba, yeah? So Papa Legba himself's a very famous Lua. There are quite a few misconceptions about him, usually spread by places like American Horror Story, for example. American Horror Story is a TV show that depicts Papa Legba with his glowing red eyes that does these deals for people's souls and shit like that. A malevolent entity that seems to like to trick and damn people. This is incorrect, and although yes, there have been some links and connotations between Lua and Satan in the Bible, this is mainly religious propaganda and not actually true. There has been like statues and paintings of him with horns as well. This doesn't necessarily depict a demonic nature, more of a nature of a being from all worlds. So Papa Legba himself was, in one of the first instances of him being worshipped, was worshipped as Eshu or Legba in the Yoruba tribe. Now, he became Papa Legba when the worship of him spread to the Benin. The saints he synchronized with are St. Peter and St. Lazarus. The day of the week to perform his action de grace or respect would be Monday, but his feast today is June the 13th. Colours he likes, black and red. He has a twin entity called Metcalfu. Metcalfu means owner of the crossroads, and there is indeed an entity between them, like a middle ground entity almost, called Legba Carfu. It's an amalgamation of them both. Now, what Legba Carfu has in common with Metcalfu is they both have very temperamental attitudes. They're both extremely important, powerful Lua, and they know they are, and they shouldn't be approached for anything trivial, petty, or by novices or beginners. Legba himself, you can work with him quite successfully in healing, removing blockages, obstacles, wisdom, initiations in terms of opening the roads to work with the Lua. That's not exclusively what you can work with him for, but these are areas I found great success in working with him for. His responsibilities himself is for like watching over the crossroads. It's kind of almost like a crossroad. He's a crossroad deity, so he's almost like a gatekeeper. He decides what will and will not be allowed through the crossroads, and who will not be allowed to be granted an audience with the Lua. Now, yes, there is a back door, which we'll cover in another video on another Lua, but primarily the correct traditional way, he's the one that holds the bases and controls the gates. Things he likes are baked goods, rums, sweets, cowrie shells. You can offer him water if you like, chicken, tobacco is quite partial to cannabis, and obviously things he can use and stuff like a cane, pipe, straw hat. You can give him coins as well. He loves coins, especially if you lay him out like a little cross pattern on his altar. Now, not a boko like myself, but you can hire a hungan or a mambo, which is a high priest or priestess, if you want to put it in English, in the Orthodox religion, to create something called a makut for him. And a makut is a special bag which sort of basically holds his sacred things in. So, when we call to Papa Legba, we may say a couple of things. One of the things we may say is, Ouvrez bé pour moi, Papa pour moi, passez-le toute map, remsiluayo, which translates to, please open the road for me, Papa Legba, and when I return, I will thank the Lua. Or you may say, Atibo Papa Legba, l'ouvri porte-la pour moi, Papa Legba, please open the roads for me. Or you may say a combination of them both. Now, it's known traditionally that you can meet him at certain crossroads. Now, there's a fallacy here, because people think that every crossroads is magical, but only certain crossroads, usually ones where there are ley lines, especially intersecting ley lines, or where there's been an important event of spiritual magnitude or ones that are out in nature. Like old dirt roads, for example, that are no longer used and stuff like that. Usually these are your ideal crossroads, and if you go to these at midnight, it's said that you can meet Papa Legba. However, going to the crossroads or any other spiritual place, such as the graveyard, for example, is extremely dangerous, especially at night when malevolent entities try and traverse the crossroads under cover of darkness. Some of them will attach to you. So if you're going to do this and try to get yourself an audience there with him, you need to wear a protective talisman to prevent attachments and spiritual attacks. Especially on a night. Remember cleansings and stuff when you go home. If you do go to see him, take plenty of things to offer him as well, because he's known to either take things from you or give things to you. And always bear in mind, he's a bit of a trickster, so he can play a joke on you. But all round, Papa Legba is a brilliant, brilliant, benevolent entity. He's brought me a lot of wisdom, and he was very welcoming and understanding with me when I first started my path in Vodou. Now, when you see Papa Legba appear visually, or when you see a picture of him, he looks like an old man struggling to hold himself up on a cane and walking with a limp. Let me tell you now, do not, under any circumstance, mistake this for frailty or weakness. He was never human. He was always a deity, and he has never been weak or known weakness in his life. The reason he limps and holds his weight upon that cane when he walks is because he has a foot in all worlds. Like I said, he's the guardian of the crossroads. He can exist in all worlds, so it makes sense that he's got a foot in all worlds. This is an extremely difficult and heavy process, hence weighs a god down. Any additions, feel free to write in the comments. Any questions, feel free to write in the comments. Please keep your comments respectful. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which don't read the right lot. And if you want to know more about Papa Legba and other lore, including how to work with them, etc., then you can find such information in my entry-level to Root Workbook, Rootwork Conjures Magic and Wonders. Or you can hit me up about the course. Anyways, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which don't leave you with the right lot. Good night, YouTube. See you later.